Good evening. It's time for Jamuary 24, the Jamuary tour, so to speak. It's been a bit of a frustrating and hectic day, and been fighting with the telephone company today. The only thing I'll say beyond that, unless it comes up later, is that if you ever decide to have a company, to own a company, don't buy somebody else's. Because the process of switching everything over from one owner to the next, even though it's a corporation and all this stuff is in the name of the corporation, getting it moved to a new corporate owner is just mind-numbingly frustrating. So that's been the day today. I was mostly dealing with the phone company, and that's a bit about it. Amphonics, good evening. Thanks for joining. So it's going to be another simple evening, one that I just need to get some frustrations out and chill a bit. And so I think the plan tonight is to do a jam for a few minutes, talk for a couple of minutes, set up another jam, do another jam, and chat, back and forth, and we'll see how it goes. I'll keep an eye on the chat, although it looks like I'm getting video return on YouTube freezes. If it gets real bad, guys, just let me know. So anyway, that's the start. Real quick, stuff is doing what it's doing. Take 5 over here is actually doing one of the drones tonight. Right now, the PolyBrute is playing a 1-note arpeggio. Beep 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 beep. That's coming off of that. Everything else will be coming off the computer tonight, I think. Which I know is not PolyBrute later on, but to get started, I'm going to start on the computer. And so I think that's where we'll go. Just 1 second to get up something worthwhile to look at here. Didn't really plan very well for tonight either, so sorry about that. There's a setting I keep forgetting to do on the looper so that it doesn't reset itself every however many bars. It's like every 4 bars it resets itself and jumps to an odd spot in the loop. Which may make it interesting, I don't know. But anyway. So that was that. Let's find a new lead sound here. I think I'm going to do it on, let's see, what am I going to do here? Let's come over here and see what we got. Oh, we got pigments there. What is Pigments doing at the moment? Ah, that's pretty. Thank you. Chill is what I need tonight. So I think the thing to do if I'm going to play that, stop that one. And let's see if I can figure out how to slow this one down. Still learning Pigments. I've had Pigments for a couple versions now. And Oh, I see what's going on. Okay. And I really do like it, but I've like many other things, I have not had time to give it the time that it deserves. And I need to do that kind of thing before I buy too much other stuff, you know. So let's see here. If I come over here to that, oh yeah. Yeah, the new sequencer is really nice. It actually makes a lot of sense. I really do like the way the new sequencer works. It's actually in a lot of ways a lot like Stepic, with you know, a few things missing here and there and a few things added. So I don't think it's necessarily a Stepic replacement, but it does a few Stepic-like things, and it's very clear what it's doing. I like too. It does the I've got the polymetry turned on, so basically I'm running a sequence of 5 pitches, and then I've got 16 steps of probability going. I have everything turned on. There's no steps turned off, but you see every few have a much lower probability of going. And with this particular patch that's going on, you notice I have that 16th step in the velocity lane cranked all the way up. So if the note is on, or if the note is played and we hit that, it gets a completely different sound with the velocity cranked up in this particular patch. And of course it won't do it while we're not listening for it, or while we're specifically listening for it, but that's the way it goes. And I learned something else about Pigments. It's probably been able to do all along, but last night we were playing with granulizers, you know, with some granular synthesis stuff, and or as an effect, the granulizers or the sample playback portion in the synth of Pigments. Of course, I don't have any samples playing in this patch. We can break it, I think. Stop here for a second, and just change this to sample. Go into this engine. You can use, of course, any of the samples that are included. But one thing that I really like, and let's see if I can find something appropriate here. This PC. Somewhere in here, maybe. This will work. Steal something from Cube. And I'm going to grab something pretty much at random because I don't know what any of this stuff sounds like. Let's take this guy here. Oh, it's not a sample, not a WAV file. Shoot. Alright, well that won't work. This will. Let's see. Of course, we're in G minor, and nothing here will quite match up, but, you know, what the heck. Just grab one at random. Go. So now I've got that in the synth, and we'll get this out of the way. And let's get the let's go ahead and turn this one off. Get some volume up. Oh, it's going through filter 2. I don't want it through filter 2. Turn the sequencer off for the moment. Maybe. Oh, let's see. Where's my envelope on this? One thing I don't like about this in plug-in mode is I don't get to see the whole thing. Alright, so VCA envelope, do a short tack, we'll drag that out. And this guy is messing with the filter, I guess. Either that or this was a bad sample to start with for the process here. It's a good sample, just bad for me to play with tonight. Yeah, it's real quiet. Shoot. Some of this other stuff out of the way. Okay, what's modulating what here? it's in tune. What the devil am I running into here? Well, I'm going to do what I was going to do with it anyway, put it through the granular synth. Filter time. What is this routed to? Okay, that's routed to effects. What's this one going to? More effects. Turn that off. Some of these modulations out of the way that we're not sure what they're being sent to. Nothing there, nothing there. That's become real unpredictable. Turn more and more stuff off and less predictable. All right, I'm going to go back to where we were because I don't need. I'll have to fool with that another night. What's this sound like? Okay, that's pretty awful. Let's see. Styles. types first. Let's do some keys and try that. Nah, don't like that. I'll play with this for a while. Setting up a looper real quick. Alright, I have no idea where that came from. Hey, Mike. Welcome. Pretty much an experimental night, just kind of jamming around with stuff. Got some pigments going in the background. A little bit of MiniFreak V. So both of these got updates this week. So when the new pigments came out, they also dropped a new version of MiniFreak and a new version of augmented strings and something else. Can't remember what the other one was. But 4 software updates in one drop, plus all the other stuff they were doing. And people wondered why that's why their website went down for most of the day, or got flaky for most of the day. I actually like the MiniFreak VST better than the hardware. Actually, I'm finding that I seem to be finding that with a bunch of hardware lately. I love these guys, but I'm finding the VST of the MiniFreak better. I like the VST for the wave state better. So I find kind of interesting, because I was really at one point, just a few months ago, even trying to get away from the box. So that's kind of an interesting change, at least interesting to me. And I don't know why that might be, but it's not a bad little synth, Mike. I mean, don't let me deter you from getting one, because it is a very good synth. I'm not saying that. I just like the hardware version a little bit, or the software version a little better. But it's a fine. I mean, it is a very fine instrument, and another great first hardware synth, in my opinion, is actually the MicroFreak. It's really fun. I know it's got its some of its quirks and detractions maybe, but I really find it to be. If I were going to choose between those two as hardware synths, I would probably take the MicroFreak. And I have the MicroFreak. I never actually bought the MiniFreak. Just got to try it out in the store. If you have the opportunity to try it and play with it, I would before you buy it, I would strongly recommend doing that. But it's I did a post on my website about it when it first came out, the MiniFreak, and it's almost exactly what was asked for when online NAMM, I guess about 3 years ago now, maybe 4, or whatever it was, the first year that NAMM got canceled for COVID. They had a live stream event, and basically a lot of people got to put an input to what the MiniFreak was going to be, and they got about 85-90% of it, of what the group wanted. So, Mike, I can't remember where you are in the world, but there are a number of major retailers will have them usually. Maybe and there's a huge delay too, so unfortunately Seattle. Okay. So not in the middle of nowhere. I don't know what your big music stores are out there. Unfortunately. Yeah, like I know that. I mean, they say online. You're saying online stores. I know Sweetwater has them on their sales floor, but that's a bit of a drive for you, because they're about halfway between you and me. And like I say, I don't know what major retailers are in your Guitar Center is really it. Yeah, I don't know if they would have one or not. They seem to stick with mostly the really mainstream stuff. There's got to be other music stores in Seattle, though, in the Seattle area. I would think. Got to be. But anyway, yeah, it's if you can get one, if you can see one in person, that would be my first choice. But and like I said, it's not a bad synth. I liked the software better. One of my local stores has one on the sales floor, just outside of Washington D.C., and I was able to go play with it. Yeah, I guess if you're going to have to do the order, and not be able to try it, make sure it's someplace that's got a good return policy. If you don't like it, and like I said, you probably won't dislike it. It's a good synth. I'm definitely going to say it's a good synth. Just like I said, I preferred getting around in the software better. There's things that in the software are not hidden as deeply behind a tiny screen, and that's really gets down to the you got a lot more display. You've got a lot more display of stuff in the hardware synth, or in the software synth. A lot of this stuff you don't get to see at all, really, especially in the effects section. The oscillators show up a little bit. The mixer is different. The oscillator mix is different between the two. See, the wheels, macros, and sequencer tab controls all work the same. So the oscillator controls, actually there's more here than is readily accessible on the hardware, but it's just a matter of it would just be a matter of getting used to it. I mean, it's like I said, it's not a bad synth. Just I preferred the software. One thing that is definitely better in the software is the modulation matrix. There's the same number of cross points in the matrix, but on the hardware, all of them from, let's see, about here out, from about this row out, are stacked up under 3 keys. So you have to do a kind of a 2-finger dance, so to speak, to get to those other selections in the mod matrix. So that's a little inconvenient, and there's no, when you do that, it doesn't show you what you have to remember what the the ones that you map yourself are. Some of these items, destinations across the top are hard coded, both in the hardware and software. And then in the, like, I could do another, change this one to none. I could say, what knob do I want to put in the matrix? And let's say I want to change, let's say I want to change the fall time of the, I want to be able to, let's do something we're actually using. Let's say I want to modulate the rate of this LFO. So now I have that as a destination, and I'm going to take the other LFO and use it to modulate that rate. So in order on the hardware synth, you'd have to remember what this destination was. And I have no idea what that sounds like now. Because LFO2 is going to what? FX1 time. Oh, okay. And FX1 is a delay. Oh, we can have some fun. We can get some warpy stuff going on if I crank that up. Another thing that's easier to do with the software is the LFO shaper. Now, the other side of that is that I think they're still doing this. If you buy the hardware, I believe you still get the software for free. So maybe that's a good trade-off, and I probably should have bought the hardware, but hey. For me, the money was better spent differently, I think. But and I thought too, since I already had a MiniFreak for the hardware, that was getting more frequent updates, that okay, so you've already got the software. Yeah, let's say the software is great. I'm not into the whole V collection. My path has been not down the Arturia path. I've gone down the Native Instruments path, and so some of the Arturia stuff plays nicely in the Native Instruments environment. So that was kind of sort of my thought process there. And I guess the only other difference really between the two of them is obviously the software version has a digital filter, and filters in the filter in the hardware is analog, I think, still. I get a little confused about V Collection and Analog Lab and all that stuff from them as well. because there's things I expect that they do, and then it turns out that they're not there. Especially, particularly in Analog Lab. But that Analog Lab, I upgraded the version that came with one of the controllers that I've got from them to the Analog Lab Pro now, whatever that means. And I had hoped that, spending the extra was going to get me some more editing capability within the synths, and you really still have to add on what you want within the lab to really be able to edit. So, Native Instruments was a little more clear as to what I was getting. So, but anyway, that's that. I said at the top of the stream tonight that it's been a frustrating day, so just trying to chill. How long have I been doing? Almost an hour. Now, see, so there's the thing with the complete control. I bought the original complete control, and the thing with complete control is that, yeah, the most basic version, you do have a there are certainly limitations. With this newest version of both the complete control software and the Control S keyboard, a lot of that kind of limitation seems to have gone away. Now, I also have upgraded to one of the more complete versions of complete when I went to 14, and I think when I go to 15, when 15 comes out and I will upgrade to that, because there's some things that they're adding that I want, you do get more, but the Mark III Control S series controllers, as I've been gushing about over the entire month so far, opens up a lot of control that really was not possible at all with the first version, and they were only just starting to develop in Mark II. With this Mark III controller, they've moved a lot of the control processing off the computer and into the controller itself. That enabled them to do a lot tighter integration, with the DAW, and even within their own software, they were able to do a much tighter integration. So now I've got, we're looking at my first 8 tracks in Ableton. And if I tab over here, I've got my effects return, my individual effects, my synth return, and then the master mix all here. So they really this kind of stuff just did not work well with Ableton, with the previous versions of the controllers. And then I can get right into the plugins. MiniFreak is not fully updated. I was hoping it would be for this version to give me a nice display here. But when I get in here, I've got, if I go into edit mode, I've got 20 screens worth of controls. If I get into something that is really truly NKS, it's got the deep integration. Let's see, what do I have going on here? I got Pigments. Oh, shoot, that's not what I wanted. Pigments has got, even Pigments doesn't have all of it yet. Yes, yeah, it does. So now, in this version, I don't have pictures on the screen of what's going on in Pigments. I still have to, if I want to see Pigments, I do still have to look at, the, oh, come on. Learn to use the silly trackpad. I do still have to look up for certain things. I've still got to look at the computer. But by and large, I've got much greater control over everything in Pigments, and lots of it is it's all here and grouped on the controller in the same way that it's grouped on the screen. So I've got my master section. I got 5 tabs with a bunch of pages in each one. So I've got my master section. I have my envelopes here, all 3 envelopes. I have my LFOs and everything that's associated with LFOs, all broken down nice and neatly, so I can get around and see, get to pretty much anything within it pretty quick. So the A49 is almost exactly the same functionally as the version, or as the Mark 1S series, but with the A's, at least they're new enough that they do actually get better integration with it, like Ableton. But the new S's, they're not cheap, they're not inexpensive, but what I'm waiting for is still not finished in the new S's, is the full MIDI implementation for generic stuff. So I can't do what I like to be able to do in the long run is use my original S61 as a dumb MIDI controller to tie through this to get in. So I have two keyboards, and then I can map common controls to the knobs on the S, just like you can on the A, and then have the 2 of them work in concert. That's going to be a few months, I'm sure, before that's all ready and worked out. But that's the overall goal, because I like the key bed a lot on the S as well. The other huge selling point for me is that the new Mark III S's have polyphonic aftertouch, and I just that, to me, that makes things so playable, so that's a, to me, that was worth the wait and worth the price of admission, so to speak. Of course, the sound that I have doesn't really take any right now doesn't take any advantage of it, at least not here. Maybe it does on here. Yeah, so I've got this patch in the patch that I have up in MiniFreak does respond to polyphonic aftertouch. It's subtle, but you can hear if this chord I've got in the left hand. Let's get some of this other stuff out of the way. There. Oh, shoot. Let me get that loop gone, too. Whoops. That's not what I wanted. I have to do this the ugly way. So if I hold that chord, it's got its thing going on. And what I'm doing, which of course you won't be able to see on camera very well, but I'm just holding the notes with my left hand for the chord. So basically I'm just rocking the aftertouch. So that, like I said, to me, that's kind of worth the price of admission right there. Yeah, and it's unfortunately you can't. I don't have a good shot, like coming down. Oops, wrong thing. I don't really have a shot coming downward onto the keyboard. So maybe at some point I'll get some better camera angles set up in here, but. So you can sort of see it, but not really see what's going on. Probably the most amazing keyboard that I've played for that was the Osmos. I don't know if you're familiar with the Expressive V Osmos at all. The aftertouch, even if you just use the polyphonic aftertouch on that thing, it's an amazing thing. That's really the only way to describe it. It's just amazing. And then to be able to do individual pitch bends as well, that's like another dimension of play. But I bought this, and I may or may not ever get an MPE controller. We'll see. Before I bought this, before I bought the Control S, my thought was that I could justify, the $1,800 or whatever it is for the Osmos, because it was a really great controller and had a nice synth engine too. But at this point, I don't think I can justify that. So it's all right. It's all right. I really like. Really like all the things that the Control S has opened up for me that I would not be able to do with the Osmos. So this is probably a better investment in the long run for me, just because of all the the tight integration that it's got with both Ableton Live and the native instruments, and more software from other manufacturers. Yuhi is getting into the NKS world. Arturia is. UVI, I think, is. And a couple of others are starting to develop for the NKS world. So, and a lot of that stuff, too, will work well in the NKS world with your A series. So, it's a good environment. I think the native instruments environment is a good one to be in. But as you experienced at the lower end of the software bundle, like Arturia's, it gets a little murky as to what you're actually going to get in the box. And I think I jumped in. I started with the basic and went for the standard level. Is where I went. I think that's what it's called. And when I do the upgrade to 15, it'll be to Ultimate. The only thing I don't like about Native Instruments is that as they add to the collection, you don't get those as updates. In other words, if in the middle of version 15 they add 3 or 4 cool synths, if you want those, you've got to buy them, and then they may or may not be included as part of 16. So that's like the downside to me in their environment. But overall, I'm liking it, and I've been a Native Instruments customer for since Reactor first came out. Reactor and Absinthe, since they first came out, I've been using their stuff. So I'm kind of sort of into their mindset as well. So, well, I've been at this for a while. It is now after 10 o'clock in the East Coast, and you guys elsewhere are different times in the world, but like I know it's still relatively for you early for you, Mike. And I think Inphonics is probably going to bed at this point. But so I'm probably going to wind down now. I'm going to play a little bit more, and then I'm going to crawl off to bed. I'm glad to do the demo, Mike, by the way. I can talk about this silly keyboard controller all night long. Yeah, 3 a.m. Yeah, definitely time for bed. As our friend Andy would say, 3 o'clock's time to get up to pee. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and play another five minutes or so, and then I'm going to call it quits. Thanks for coming, guys. Got to push the little button here for those who are joining us later in replay, and say the whole thing about if you like the stream or like the show, hit the little like button, give it the old thumbs up. If you're not subscribed already, please do visit the website GerenM.net. Lots of cool stuff there. And that's going to do it. Thanks for coming. I'm going to play some music, and I'll see you all again tomorrow, 9 o'clock Eastern Time.